to things that I already know, right?
Yes. What is happening?
And so
Sorry.
with
Just gonna
this
cut
one,
back on my packs.
I put my cigs over there so I won't be tempted to smoke as we're recording.
I gotta take a break.
I'm currently sweating my ass off though for real.
Same. I'm so hot.
Dude, I'm
so hot.
dying.
Because I got done doing that workout and I was like, shit, we gotta
Damn
record.
it.
And I baked that bread with that fucking ovens on. I'm so, I hope you guys can't see this. Anyways, okay. You were doing research. I did not because I forgot we were.
No, it's okay. But here's the thing. Like, we're talking about stuff that we know, right?
Yes.
But I was like, okay, are there like tips and tricks that I wouldn't have thought about, right? So
sure.
The first episode that we have, PS episode, is how to make friends in adulthood, right? It sounds, I don't want to say it sounds weird or silly, but we don't actually think about what it's like to make friends in adulthood versus childhood. Not that making friends is always easy for kids by any means, right? Like that comes with its own set of issues. However, when you're a kid, you're surrounded by people all the time. People your age, people a little bit younger, a little bit older, but like you're with them all. Excuse me. You're with them all the time. That was gross. It tasted like my breakfast.
My mouth watered. Like.
Okay. Yes, you are around people
all the time.
So like you have the opportunity to meet people all the time, right?
Yes.
So when you think about yourself in adulthood, how have you made friends? Like you personally? Still trying. I don't know.
Okay, got really fucking lucky. No, I don't know what the fuck is in my throat. So Same. I think there's two parts. I think we have to talk pre-pandemic and post-pandemic. So pre-pandemic, how I made friends. This is
no judgment.
I know it's so easy for me to make friends.
That's
because of like humor, like, and I just like I feel like I don't even try, and it's just like my humor and like I feel like I have a welcoming like aura energy, so it's just kind of like it's almost to the point. And gosh, I know, no judgment. This really does though in my head sound like okay, Mari.
Okay, but that's how I felt with the women as competition thing, and you're like, yeah, I didn't have that problem, and I was like, oh. Okay.
Didn't at all. Nobody was like, gotta get better than Mari. Like they're like, come on, loser. I'm just kidding. I was not a loser by any means. No, I wasn't. But I feel like that ties back to that episode, right? Because like I said, I wasn't in competition with anybody because it's not like I was like higher up, but I could blend with anyone.
Yep.
I could blend with any friend group. I could blend with the popular people, not well, but I could blend with the popular people. I could blend with band people, theater people, just regular people, like who are just like in school, like who don't have like a thing, you know, like a group. Like that was me. I didn't have like a thing or a group. It was just like we were just regular people. Not that any of the other people aren't regular, but you get what I'm saying.
Yes.
So to me, I find that it's just been easy to make friends. And it wasn't when I was little. It was very difficult for me to make friends. I was very shy. I don't know where it flipped or changed because I was terrified to go into high school. Even though I was going with friends, I was terrified. I was like, I am the only person who feels this way. There is no fucking way anybody feels this way. But I feel like maybe it was by college because I was forced. I didn't go to college with anybody. My sister was there, but she was 2 years ahead of me and doing her own thing, had a job, she was established. And like, I mean, she was more accepting and welcoming in college than she was in high school. Not that she wasn't nice in high school, but she was like, oh my God, my little sister, don't talk to me. Whereas like in college, she was like, do you want to have dinner? And I was like, do you? I do, yes.
That's awesome.
So I think college forced me. During orientation, I saw one of my friends. Oh my God, I almost forgot her last name. Christy Landerman, such a sweet girl. Saw her, and she had made friends with other people because she had left St. Cat's and went to a different school. I think she ended up going to Horlick. So she went to a different high school, but then went to Whitewater. And I saw her, I was like, hey, do you mind if I like meet up with you guys later or like see you? Like, I don't know anybody. I don't know my roommate. we do not have anything in common. So I don't necessarily want to hang out with her. And she was like, yeah, sure, come along. And that's how I met my group of friends in high school or college. And then that's how it branched out to other people. And then it just got easier after that, because it was like, I'm just going to latch on to you and we're going to be friends, whether you really like it or not. I'm going to respect boundaries and not be like, let's do something every day, but I'm going to pull back. Does that make sense? Like, and I succeed every time. Whether you want to or not, whether you want to or not, once I gotcha, tell me you don't think about me.
I'm a true testament. I'm a true testament.
Exactly. And sometimes it really is just the vulnerability. Like, we became friends just because I was like, like, because I started crying and you're like, what's wrong? And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yes.
So honestly, and then because I became friends with you, then I became friends with everybody else on the team. Sure. Not that I wasn't friendly with them or acquaintances, but then it was like becoming more integrated as friends.
Mm-hmm. But don't you think it's true? It's like, if I have one person that I'm comfortable with, and then they can be my gauge to see if I'm going to like those people, right? Yep. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Like, if you trust them, then I feel okay trusting them because I inherently trust you. Like, that may sound like weird, but I don't know. That's not how I operate, but I feel like, okay, if Mari
that is how I operate.
Like, if Mari is vouching for this person, then I trust that they're a good person, that I trust that I can be around them, or that I'll enjoy being around them. Not that she's making the decision for me, but I trust her decision-making skills. And so therefore, then it kind of bleeds into the rest of that stuff.
Like how I met Carrie, right? So
Nails Carrie?
Yes. So when I was getting my divorce, I became really good friends with Elise and Carrie. We were like the trifecta, like the three amigos. We did everything together. I knew Elise from working at the restaurant that I work at because her family owns it, and now she's per owner. So I had known her for forever, and she knew Carrie, and I don't know how they met. But Carrie, I went and we got our nails done together for my birthday. And I thought she was the owner of Polish. I thought she was Erica, but she wasn't. She was Carrie, obviously. So she said that she knew me, but I didn't know her. And so then when we started hanging out, like, I would go to the bar or like meet them for a Packer game, and she would be there. Like, we could make friends, but her and I instantly clicked, just because like how you and I click, and I could click with anybody. If you think situational humor is funny, I will go all fucking day with you. Like what we were just doing. I will go all day. We would become immediate best friends because that's just like how I am. So that was like one of those weird circumstances where it was like I was friends with Elise, she was friends with Carrie, but then I ended up being closer to Carrie just because of our humor. Not that we weren't close with Elise, but does that make sense?
Yeah.
I feel like I've had too much coffee and I'm like,
no, you're fine. I've had adult clients who really, really struggle, whether it's pre or post pandemic, to make connections with people. Like, so much so that there are like actual friendship apps that you can use. Like there's Bumble BFF. There's like a meetup thing where people coordinate these big meetups, and you go and like you meet at a bar for like a board game or dinner or trivia or whatever. And that's how you kind of connect with like-minded people. Excuse me. Does it always work out that way? No. But will you know if you don't try? No. Right? Like, you have to try it out.
Sure. The nice thing about Bumble BFF is I have a client who's used that and it's works. And so she's met some people, and some people she's been like, cause it's like Tinder or Bumble where you do the talking first and then meet up, right? So you can tell in somebody's talking style whether you're going to jive or not. You just can. So there's been some where she's like, well, it didn't jive. But there's been some where she's like met their other friends, or like they were meeting up with another Bumble BFF person. So then they tacked onto it. So I just think that's such an awesome way, especially post-pandemic or moving to a new place, because like, how are you supposed to meet people? Like, to me, post-pandemic, pre-pandemic, I mean, you got to put yourself out there. You got to go places. You got to talk to people. You've got to get out there. That's the only way it's going to work. But not the only way, but that is the majority of the way it's going to work. But now post-pandemic, everything was locked down for a while. So it was like, how do you meet anybody? And so she's used that. And I thought that was such an awesome app for people. And I would totally use it if I relocated to another area. I absolutely would. I mean, I'm not going anywhere, but you get what I'm saying.
Yes. Well, and I think also things like Instagram, like, again, if you would have asked me 10 years ago if I would ever leave my house to meet somebody I met on the internet, I'd be like, you're fucking insane. No, because I'll be murdered. I will be chopped up and left in the woods.
What is his name? Chris what? Like him coming out of the back. Hi, I'm Chris something with Dateline NBC.
Yes. I'm Chris Hansen, and this is Detective Predator.
One of those moments where it's like,
yes. Yes. But here's the thing. And it's little things that add up, right? So when I started my Instagram, I wasn't a part of any fitness groups. I just wanted an Instagram. And I remember I asked you, I was like, do you have Instagram? Is it worth it? You're like, bitch, yes, get it. And I was like, okay, I'll do it. Yes. But then it builds and builds. Right. And so once I became part of like a fitness community, then it's not that you're forced to become friends with them. Right. But like you were in a like-minded situation. And so you make connections with people. But I have made connections with people on Instagram who I just thought that they were pretty and I complimented them, or I thought their post was hilarious. And so I commented on it. Right. Like, that's putting yourself out there and making these connections. I think people get nervous of like, oh, they're not going to read it, or they're not going to care what I have to say, or they're going to think I'm nuts, or like whatever the thought process is. You don't actually know that, right?
No, you don't.
You don't actually know that. It feels nice to feel recognized. If somebody thinks that I'm funny, I'm like, oh, thanks. Like, I appreciate that. Or if they're like, oh my God, I love this. I love that you posted that. Like, that feels nice. But again, you don't know if that's going to work unless you do it.
I 100% agree. We know me. I love words of affirmation. So when people give me any sort of praise, I'm like, thank you. Like, and then literally I'm like, what are you doing today? Like, so that 100%. And here's the thing. It costs $0 to just like say, hey, that's a cute shirt, or hey, that's a cute outfit, or oh, really good point, blah, 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 blah. Because you're just bringing kindness to that person's day. It literally takes 4 seconds and it's free. Why would you not do that?
Yep. The other thing is to remember that it feels awkward and uncomfortable for a lot of people. You're not alone in thinking, oh my God, I feel so weird giving somebody a compliment, or oh my God, I feel so weird asking somebody online a question. So just own that it's awkward, and then it feels less terrible, right? Like it just feels kind of normal because you're like, I'm not alone in this. And so then it feels like, well, I can act on it because I know I'm not alone. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. Brene Brown talks about this in the book, or it's the audio book I listened to, but I think it was a talk she gave and then they made it into a book, The Power of Vulnerability. And that stepping into vulnerability, that extreme uncomfortability, that extreme uncomfortable place lasts about 8 seconds.
Yep.
That's it. 8 seconds. So not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, not that, but 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 8 seconds. It's still uncomfortable after that until you get into the swing of things and get used to it. But that initial jumping off point is 8 seconds. That you can do anything for 8 seconds.
Absolutely. And that's, again, riding that wave of discomfort and knowing like, oh, look, I made it out alive and I'm okay. It's the anticipatory anxiety that's the worst, because you are convincing yourself of all these terrible things. They're going to think I'm crazy. They're going to think I'm dumb. They're not going to like me. They're going to block me, right? Like all these things.
Good thing it's the fucking internet and you'll probably never see them again, or you'll never meet up with them again. If they think you're fucking nuts, then that's their problem. That's them. Exactly. Like, why are you putting yourself on, I was going to say a dating app, a best friend app, or an app to make friends, if you are like, well, going to be judgmental off the bat, like, oh, this person's crazy. No, you're fucking crazy.
I think it's interesting when I have a client who we were talking about making connections, and they were like, oh, I don't make friends at work. I don't mix business and pleasure. And I was like, had I not met Mari at work, we wouldn't be best friends. So I don't know what here. Like exactly.
We would not be doing this. And what's the
I wouldn't be here in my life if I hadn't met you.
I would not be here in my life. I definitely would have gotten the divorce, but I don't know where I would have been.
Sure.
I honestly think I still would have been at Rogers. No joke.
Yes, because I would have felt like I had to stay. I had no choice.
Right.
So it's interesting to me when people don't want to like mix the two, and to each their own, right? Like that's your choice. That's fine. But like, I also feel like at a place that we worked, you're kind of forced to become close with your coworkers.
Right. I was just going to say
every day.
I was just going to say, I wonder if it's different though. Like if we worked like business or accounting jobs, you know?
Yes. Where you're just like on your own and you don't have to deal with people, right? Like if you're just in your own little cubicle, or like,
and like, maybe if I get my work done at a certain time, then I can be done or go home, and then I don't have to do this, because like we were there from certain time to certain time, no matter what. But like, maybe not saying that those people don't have to stay at their job, but like, I don't know. Maybe it would be different
a lot, right? Whether it was like consultations or like, hey, your kid just told me this, or this just happened. Like we had to always be in constant communication. So I think that helped foster the relationship, obviously.
Absolutely.
But then we made an active choice to pursue the friendship and relationship. So.
Yes. Man.
All in all, I feel like the moral of the story is you have to put yourself out there, right? Mm-hmm. Like aside from the shame or embarrassment or self-consciousness, you are not the only one that's uncomfortable making friends. And I think, again, post-pandemic, people are even more nervous because there are a lot of people that still don't feel comfortable being in a social situation. And you guys, that's okay. Right. That's your choice. That is okay. Right. That's okay. But
chat rooms and like online things are definitely thriving. Yes. And still a thing.
And it's the same thing with dating. I had a client who was like, yeah, well, online dating is just not my thing. And I'm like, here's the thing, bro. You don't have much of an option right now because your country is literally shut down. So you can either choose to not engage with anybody and continue to feel lonely because that's what you're telling me right now. Or you can make the choice to say, you know what, I'm going to give it a shot again because this is my only opportunity I have for interaction with another person and see what happens. Mm-hmm. The choice is yours, obviously.
I think first step, definitely putting yourself out there, and maybe even pre-first step or during, like parallel to that first step is challenging those cognitive errors that come up.
Yep.
Because you have no idea. You have no idea. You don't have facts because it's that participatory anxiety about a situation that hasn't happened. You don't have facts because it hasn't happened. Yep. So you being like, well, it happened before. Okay, how does that factually prove it's going to happen right now? It doesn't. Exactly. So moot point.
Yep. 1,000,000%.
Get out there and make friends.
It's worth it, we promise.
It's so worth it. Mm-hmm. Okay. Good one.
This is a good one. Yeah.
Yes.
Sure. All right, everybody. You know where to find us. And this is for all you subscribers, right? Because this is a PS episode. So again, thank you so much for subscribing to the podcast. It means more than we can ever put into words. Someday, maybe we'll eventually learn how to put it into words where it can show like the magnitude of how we feel. Yes. Thus far, we haven't found.
Let's get a plane with a banner. A plane with a banner for sure. That's the one. Maybe a balloon drop, helicopter balloon drop. No, that's bad for the environment. Maybe just water or something.
I think water's okay.
Yeah.
We'll put glitter in it or something.
Also bad for the environment. I'm so excited that the subscribers get this one because it was like 10 minutes of banter.
Dude, it's great. It's great.
Good.
It's going to be great for YouTube. It's going to be great for the YouTube also.
The tube. Wait, do we put it on YouTube if it's just for subscribers?
I think we could put part of it on there, like just the funny stuff.
Oh, sure.
Save the rest. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because it's like a behind the scenes, right?
Yes. I like it.
And people want to see it because we're funny. So
yeah.
Again, tell me when I look dumb because my hair's caught on my headphones.
Stephanie, I literally came to this recording with sweat marks on my shirt. Please exit stage left. Exit stage left. They're still there. It's like a little heart.
Oh,
anyways.
My God.
Okay, you can find us on our socials at SpookyFitMom13, at BEA_XO11, at Rewriting Her Story Podcast, at Rewriting Her Story Podcast, then Rewriting Her Story Podcast at gmail.com. And then we're also Rewriting Her Story Podcast on YouTube.
Yes.
We will talk to you guys soon. Okay.
Bye. Bye.